They guide us, they protect us, and they connect us to ourselves and to others. The impact of emotions, it's undeniable. Are you ready to feel better? Tonight, we're going to talk about something we all experience every single day, riding the waves of emotion. I'm super excited about this class. I know I'm not alone in feeling like, whoo, a little bit of rocky seas over here. Now, no matter how I feel, though, I always want to feel a little bit better. So we are all learning how to ride the waves of emotion. Some of us move through these waves with ease, almost like pros. Others of us feel like we're learning to float, paddling hard just to keep up. And in today's world, those waves just keep coming faster and faster. So, how many of you have felt some ups and downs this week? Maybe you've had a moment of joy, something that made your heart light up, and then maybe an hour later you were feeling stressed or overwhelmed. That's life, right? It can feel a little bit like the ocean, sometimes calm and peaceful, and other times stormy and unpredictable. But here's what we're really exploring tonight. It's not about feeling better, it's getting better at feeling. In our world today, that skill, the ability to feel, is so critical because the waters we swim in are full of things happening all around us: news, social media, family, work. There's a lot. Sometimes we get swept up in those emotional currents. How many of you have been on social media in the last week or saw a piece of news and just felt something shift in your body without even knowing what it was? That was an emotion. Our emotions are just like this water, sometimes gentle, sometimes overwhelming, sometimes unpredictable. And just like we can learn to navigate water, we can learn to navigate our emotions, to stay afloat, to move with them, and to keep going even when the tide is high. Some days it feels like shark-infested waters. Hidden currents pull at you, riptides sweep you off your feet. And some days it's smooth sailing, a calm sea, maybe even a moment to sip your favorite drink. Well, here's the truth. This is all normal. Every one of us swims in a mix of these waters. Some waves are messy, some are gentle, and every feeling has a place. Just because someone else's waters look calm, don't assume they are. We all have waves beneath the surface. And has anyone noticed that the waters are getting deeper and colder than maybe ever before? Have you noticed the need to know how to swim and throw a life raft to others? Emotional intelligence. It's crucial as we navigate these new seas. What I love about this, what I love about what we do is we can learn. We can be sitting and we can relax. Look at this gal in the water. She's sitting with the waves pooling around her and splashing around her. She's not fighting them. She's not trying to control them. She's present. Our emotions are not problems to fix. They are doorways. They lead us to more energy, deeper communication and connection, and even authentic transformation. When we learn to listen, our emotions provide us with valuable information. Now, these staggering impact our emotions have. 1 in 5 teens struggles with depression. Over 1 billion people around the world live with anxiety or depression. And today, loneliness has become so widespread that it's linked to nearly 900,000 deaths a year. We can't continue like this. So tonight you will be empowered with tools and resources that allow you to develop your emotional intelligence and surf the waves with greater ease. Ignoring emotions is like ignoring a rip current. When we pretend they're not there, we just get pulled under. But there is good news. Here is a truth that changes everything. Emotions are not just in your head. Emotions are chemical messengers moving through your body, sending signals to your cells, shaping what you think, how you feel, how you act, and how you move in the world. When you feel joy, excitement, fear, or stress, your brain releases chemicals like dopamine, serotonin, and norepinephrine. These messengers travel to your heart, your muscles, even your gut, telling every part of your body how to respond. So think about it like this: your emotions are instructions. Happiness signals your body to open, engage, and connect. Stress tells your body to prepare, protect, and to act. Even tiny waves of emotion ripple through your system, influencing your energy, your focus, and your physical state. Science proves it. Emotions aren't just thoughts or mental fluff, they change your biology. And that's why learning to notice, understand, and move with your emotions matters so much. They are signals that guide you, protect you, and give you energy. So we're going to learn how to ride those waves, not to avoid them, not to get stuck in them, but how to flow with them with more awareness, more self-kindness, and more tools to help you feel supported along the way. No matter how advanced AI becomes, it will never replace emotional intelligence. Because emotional intelligence is what keeps us human. It's the compass that helps us navigate relationships, choices, and challenges. It's the light that cuts through the confusion and shows us the next step. While AI processes data, emotional intelligence helps us process life. It teaches us to listen deeper, connect more fully, and grow stronger through every wave we face. How do we do this? We ride the wave. You'll see on your worksheet, the wave, W-A-V-E, is a simple way to remember the rhythm of emotional flow. So let's work through it. W is witness. Slow down, become still. Turn your attention inward. Take a moment to notice what's going on inside of you. Even right now, what do you feel? Maybe it's a little tension in your chest or a knot in your stomach or maybe a sense of peace. Just pause and witness. When we witness, we shift from being in the wave to standing on the surfboard, steady, aware, and able to move with what's happening. Next, allow. Offer your emotion your full attention and presence. Let it be here without judging it or pushing it away. Sometimes that means saying, it's okay that I feel this way right now. Allowing is an act of compassion. When we welcome our emotions, even the uncomfortable ones, we tell ourselves, I am safe to feel. Next, V, we want to view deeper. Once you've allowed what's here, you can get curious. Ask yourself, what is this emotion trying to tell me? What do I need right now? Maybe you sense a tightness when you're holding on to something, or maybe there's a lightness when you're ready to release. When we view deeper, we widen our perspective. We see that emotions aren't here to hurt us, they're here to help us. And last, we evolve. And this is where the magic happens. When we've witnessed, allowed, and viewed deeper, we create space to evolve. We can nurture empathy and compassion for ourselves and others. We begin to experience more acceptance and peace. And as we open to that, new possibilities and deep healing can naturally unfold. This is emotional intelligence in action. It's not about avoiding emotions, it's about moving through them with grace, awareness, and love. When we learn to ride the wave, we stop drowning in our feelings and we start letting them carry us towards growth. The waves are here, emotions are here, and you don't have to hide from them. You can jump in, feel them, notice them, and explore them. Emotions are not obstacles, they are guides. They help us with our energy, and they are our compass. They show you where to pause, reflect, and act. You don't have to control the water. You don't have to make it perfect. Just be present, notice it, and move with it. And remember, there are tools and ways to support yourself as you learn to navigate these waters. So let's talk about what we call the flow of life. Sometimes instead of moving forward, we find ourselves looping, going around and around in the same emotional patterns. Have you ever noticed that? Maybe it's stress from work or tension with a family member or even traffic that just sends you back into that same reaction. That's because our brains are wired for protection. When we sense a threat, whether it's real or perceived, our brain's alarm system, the amygdala, jumps into action. It sends a signal to the body that says, we're not safe. And in seconds, an automatic response occurs as the sympathetic nervous system kicks in, flooding the body with cortisol and adrenaline. Your heart quickens, your breathing speeds up, and your muscles tighten. This is the start of an emotional wave, and it's happening even when you don't realize it. Your body is preparing to survive. Next, you experience what we might call a threat, a real or perceived trigger, an event, a memory, or a conversation that activates the amygdala and sets the emotional wave in motion. How many of you have had that just from a memory or a conversation and get into that loop? Well, next we have a reaction. Naturally, you're going to react. Your wave rises as the amygdala does its job and sounds the alarm. Cortisol, adrenaline, a quickening heart all push you into survival mode. Now, here's where it gets interesting. At this point, we reach a choice. We can keep looping, staying stuck in that reaction, letting our nervous system stay on high alert, or we can interrupt the pattern and choose to move forward. One choice is your default mode. This is how your body often naturally goes in survival mode. Stress hormones and old patterns, automatic reactions, and even family habits can guide our feelings and our decisions. Our familiar habits feel safe, but they limit our growth. What if there's a better way? We can go from threat to reaction to choice, and then we have two paths to choose from. We can let survival mode be our default, or we can choose freedom to pause, breathe, and reset. I love this quote from a very powerful and brave man, Viktor Frankl. Between the stimulus and response, there is a space. In that space is our power to choose our response. In our response lies our growth and our freedom. And with that thought, I will turn it over now to Carla to talk a little bit about that freedom. Thank you, Carla.
Thank you, Michelle. Hello, everybody. And yes, I love that quote you just shared. So, yes, let's talk about freedom. Essential oils can reach the amygdala, the emotional control center of the brain, within seconds. And their aroma can help quiet the alarm, slow the breath, and signal to the body that you are safe. When that happens, parasympathetic nervous system turns back on, the part of us that is designed for healing and balance. And the body begins to release oxytocin and serotonin, the chemicals that create connection, clarity, and calm. And this is the flow where the wave settles and your inner waters grow still again. From this place, you can think clearly, feel connected, and move forward with peace. How many of you have noticed yourself getting caught in these loops? Maybe something small, a conversation, a memory, or a moment of frustration suddenly triggers that wave all over again. We all do it, but now you know what's really happening, and you have tools that help you step out of that loop and back into a peaceful state. We're going to dive into essential oils in just a moment, but first, I want to show you a couple of simple tools that partner beautifully with the oils. Intentional breath and movement give your system that gentle nudge to let things flow again, helping your body shift out of the emotional loop and back to center. When you breathe in an aroma, it speaks directly to the emotional center of your brain. And when you add simple movement, it helps release what you've been holding on to. So I'm going to show you two simple Qigong movements that you can pair with your oils. Now, if you've never heard the term Qigong before, it's a mindful movement practice, and the word Qigong translates into being skillful in working with the energy of your mind and body. So the first one is called pulling down the heavens, and you can do this either sitting or standing. And so I'll just demo, but you just inhale as your arms come out to the sides, and then you exhale out of your mouth as the arms come down in front of your body. And this is just moving slowly, inhaling through the nose as you come up, exhaling through the mouth with a kind of like an audible sigh as you're coming down. And this movement is going to help allow waves of relaxing energy wash downward through your body. And it's also going to help bring alignment to your mind, your heart, and your body. And if you have excess energy stuck in your head from overthinking, this helps guide that energy downward, helping you feel more grounded and present. And then the second one I'm going to show you is just simply shaking. And this one is done standing. So you want to start by just like shaking as you're standing there, shake your wrists and then up to your elbows and then your shoulders. And then you just gently bounce into your heels. And this is going to help shake out tension and soften the joints. And so, but this is also going to let stagnant energy and emotional stress just fall away. So again, with this one, you're going to inhale through the nose and exhale with that audible sigh, because it's just such a release as you're just shaking all that energy out of your body. So this one's actually really good to do before bed, just to let go of any energy that you don't want to take to bed with you and release the day. Now you'll notice both of these movements use a sigh on the exhale, and think about it. What do we naturally do when we're frustrated or even relieved? We let that, you kind of drop your shoulders and you let out that audible sigh of relief or sigh of frustration. And that's because our body innately knows how to release built up tension. So give these a try and notice how quickly your body responds when you pair intentional movement with your oils. And now let's talk about essential oils, because yes, there is a better way and a natural way to help your body and emotions find balance. Essential oils work with your body at the cellular level. They help your cells adapt, release built up stress, and return to a healthy rhythm. In fact, inhalation is the only pathway that can access the amygdala. It's like giving your body permission to exhale again. And when we use pure essential oils, we're helping our nervous system calm down, activating the parasympathetic nervous system, the part of us that says you're safe, you can rest, you can heal. And this is one of the most beautiful ways to reconnect with nature's intelligence. The wisdom is already woven into the plants. So I want you to experience this for yourself. If you have your wild orange or other uplifting oil, go ahead and open it now and place a drop in your hand. Let's do this together. And then after you get one or two drops, rub your hands together and take a slow, deep breath in. Can you feel that bright, uplifting aroma? Do you notice how your body just naturally relaxes, and maybe even you just feel a smile in your heart after doing that? That is chemistry at work. Now, one single drop of essential oil can influence 40 million trillion molecules in your body. These natural compounds move through every cell within minutes, helping restore healthy biochemistry and bring your body back into balance. This is how nature helps us ride those waves instead of getting stuck in them. So now when it comes to choosing essential oils, quality is everything. You can find bottles everywhere these days, even at big stores, but not all oils are created equal. doTERRA has been trusted for nearly 20 years for its purity, science, and proven results. Each oil of doTERRA's is certified pure, tested grade, and that is the gold standard for quality today. And that means that these oils will do what nature intended them to do, which is balance the body and emotions by helping the cells adapt, detox naturally, releasing physical and emotional stress, restoring healthy cellular function and resilience, and connecting with nature's intelligence. And CPTG means that the oils are extracted from plants that are grown and harvested in their native environments. That is really important. And they are third-party tested for purity and potency, and they do many different rigorous testings. And they are also free from fillers, contaminants, or synthetic ingredients. So when you're choosing oils for your family, this matters. Now, as you breathe in that wild orange one more time, notice what's happening in your body. Maybe your shoulders have dropped a little. Maybe your breath feels a little easier. Maybe there's a sense of lightness or even a spark of joy. Wild orange does bring that all out in us. That shift you feel right now, that's your body moving out of survival and back into safety. It's your nervous system remembering that peace is possible even in the middle of life's waves. Now, as you sit with that calm, ask yourself quietly, what does peace feel like in my body? And what am I ready to release tonight? Just breathe, let the oil anchor that intention in. Intentions are really important even when you're working with the oils. Now, when we connect emotion and awareness and partner with the pure chemistry of nature, healing begins to happen naturally. So now that we understand why essential oils work, let's talk about how to actually use them. I'm going to teach you 3 simple ways to use your oils. So first is aromatic, and so this is the easiest and fastest way to shift your mood. Now open up your bottle of shinrin-yoku or other grounding tree oil that you might have if you don't have this one. Now you can simply smell the oil straight from the bottle, or put a drop in your hands like we did with the wild orange, or put a few drops in a diffuser and let that aroma fill the room. And why does this work so quickly? Because smell is directly connected to the brain's limbic system, the part of the brain that controls emotions and memory. Think about this. How many of you instantly remember walking into a bakery or coffee shop, that warm, familiar smell that makes you feel happy or comforted? That is the limbic system at work. That's the emotional power of aroma. Now, did you know that shinrin-yoku literally means forest bathing? This blend was crafted with tree oils that mimic the calming chemistry that you get from spending time in nature. And it's a wonderful aroma that transports you directly to the forest. Don't you just love that? So the next method is topical, applying oils directly to your body. Now you can apply oils anywhere on your body. Some popular places include the back of your neck, across your forehead, on the bottom of your feet, over your heart, or inside of the wrists or pulse points. Even under your nose is a great place for emotional purposes. Some essential oils can even pass through the blood-brain barrier, allowing them to work directly on the nervous system to help calm, focus, or energize. Now go ahead and grab your Aroma Touch if you have that with you. Okay, now take a couple drops of your Aroma Touch, and this time we're going to rub your hands together and then rub that on the back of your neck. Remember to keep the oils out of your eyes, so don't rub your eyes. This does have peppermint on that. We don't want to experience that in our eyes. So just rub that in the back of your neck, your shoulders. Now, can you feel the shoulders starting to calm? Aroma Touch is often referred to as massage in a bottle. With the oils like lavender, peppermint, grapefruit, cypress, and others, it's like having a spa treatment right at home. And then that takes us to our third way, which is internal use, which helps the body balance the body's chemical reactions. So you can place a drop under your tongue, you can add a drop to your water, or you can take in a empty gel capsule. Now, this is unique to doTERRA. You'll notice that every bottle that has a supplemental facts panel indicates that that oil is safe for internal use. This opens up even more ways to support your body from the inside out. If you have the oils with you that we're talking about, you'll notice Aroma Touch does not have the supplement facts label, but the wild orange does, for example. Now we see Supermint here on the screen. Now Supermint is the oil of perspective. It will energize your mind and focus your attention. Mints are one of the most dynamic of the plant families, and Supermint combines peppermint, Japanese mint, bergamot mint, and spearmint for a powerfully refreshing blend. It will offer you a burst of energy and motivation to keep you going. It will support you through overwhelm and mental strain, and it helps the heart rise above what's weighing it down, along with the many physical benefits that we get with the mint oils. So aromatic, topical, and internal, 3 simple ways to use the oils to shift your mood, support your body's natural healing, and bring balance back into your life. Now, even if you try just one of these methods tonight, you'll feel the difference. And that's the start of riding the waves of emotion with more ease. The coolest thing about essential oils is that they can interrupt that cycle and help you show up for you and your family the way you want to. Now, I want to ensure that this is a powerful night for you, and we don't often pause to check in and ask, what am I feeling right now? So when you notice, breathe, and choose a supporting oil, you bring harmony to the nervous system. So here's a tool I love to use. We are going to do this together and just sample how it works. But if you want to dive deeper, you can do a one-on-one sessions, but even a 40-minute class like we're doing today, we can sample a couple of emotions and see how oils can interrupt them. So when we get curious, it changes everything. You can find an oil for every emotion, but these are some common ones. Today, let's focus on feeling anxious. I know that creeps up for me sometimes, especially when I'm laying down in bed at night. Once I remember that emotions are just information and recognize that I am feeling anxious, I can ask myself better questions. How am I feeling out of control? What will it take for me to feel at peace again? Now, my natural response is just to move on. But if I sit for a moment and think about those questions and listen to my body and the waves of information, I can feel the truth. Maybe I sometimes feel it's out of my control if I'm going to be able to fall asleep and get quality sleep. Or maybe I haven't released background thoughts and energy from my day. For you, it might be something else that prompts an anxious feeling. Witnessing this simple emotion of feeling anxious allows the healing to start. Now I can accelerate that by asking the question and then using the oils that help most with that emotion as we see listed on this chart. Adaptive is a wonderful blend that I could turn to for this, or even Serenity, especially since they're both really beneficial for sleep. Now, as I breathe in the aroma and look deeper, I can choose freedom. Think about the power of this tool. You can recognize the different emotional responses in yourself and your family, anger, freezing up and shutting down, and use an oil, breath, and movement as your support. Now, instead of being overwhelmed by emotions, families can use these tools to navigate them together, and this is riding the waves with power and presence. There's just a few other examples. How often do we feel irritated in our day? And I love the look deeper question. What do I gain from choosing irritation? We see shinrin-yoku listed here. Who wouldn't want to be transported to a forest when feeling irritated, right? And again, another great moment to do some movement. Just like when you're walking through a forest, you're moving and breathing that forest air at the same time. That's part of the benefit. You're doing them both together. Thank you all for joining our workshop, cheering you on to ride the waves of emotions effectively as you nurture and grow your own emotional intelligence.